deal. And if there were some particularly messy things that I had to get up to, I used to put on like this brown caretaker's like a coat, but it was brown. It was just like I think I had stolen it, from one of the caretakers in Annandale. But just to make sure that everybody knew that it was mine, I wrote on the back of it, because back then obviously everybody called me Harv, as well as John. So I had on the back of it, Harv Enterprises. You praise them open and I enter. I was only about 17 or something like. And then the Van Halen sort of lightning bolts or whatever. And I had that painted on the back, and if I was painting, people would come in and say, "What's that say?" And then they would, you're a gag. Well, I brought it home with me one time, and then I left it in the house, and I went out, and then I came back, after about an hour or whatever, and I saw my neighbours over at the railing of our house at 3 Tracy Close, and they're all standing, and I'm going, what was it? And my dad was out painting. Back then we had the old metal frame windows, and my dad was painting them, and he had he had my brown thing on, but he hadn't read what it said on the back of it, So he's standing in the street painting away at the windows with Harv Enterprises. You praise them open and I enter. All the neighbours walking past and going, "Hey Jackie, what's that?" And he hadn't a clue what was going on. He's turning around going, "What about you? You keep all right? Yeah, wait up. It's good." And they were going, and he's going, "Why have they fallen out with me all of a sudden?" Harv Enterprises, you praise them open and I enter. But no, he is always will be, just my hero. He really, really will be. And he was also and is a world champion pipe band drummer. So he was in the Robert Armstrong Memorial pipe band, and they were like Ulster champions, Ireland champions, UK champions, and used to do like a drummer's call thing, and when I, to this day, if I hear a pipe band, it sort of makes me feel emotional, even if it's like Mull of Kintyre, and I hear the pipes coming in, just go, huh, because it reminds me of my early days of, sort of parading through the streets whenever my dad had won a competition in Newcastle or wherever it would be, and I would be holding the trophy at the front of the band, walking, just a kid, sort of thing. But I know, I mean, one of my memories actually of because this is, I didn't need to be told that my dad was a brilliant artist. I discovered it, myself, just as I developed as a young guy, because like I think I was 7 or 8 years of age, 9 maybe. Yeah, I think I was about 9, and I wasn't bad at drawing, but I still couldn't get it together. And I was in a thing called the Tufty Club. Look left, look right. It's like a traffic sort of thing for Saturday mornings for the kids. We all went to it, all the kids in the Craig. And they were doing this competition, and if you were actually to draw something, it was just a drawing competition, and then you won a bar of chocolate. And on the Friday night, the club was on the Friday night, and then we had to go back on the Saturday with the drawing, So I went to my dad, and he says, "What's wrong with you, son?" And I said, "There's this competition, Dad, and it's a drawing competition, and the bar of chocolate, and but I've got to draw this thing, and all the other ones are all older than me, and I don't know if." And he went, "Listen, you'll be fine." And I says, "No, but I don't want you to do it, Dad, And he said, "No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it." He says, "But I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to help you." And he got his thumb with his wee nail and stuff, and a piece of paper, and with his thumb, he sort of done like these outlines. Um, and he said, "Now follow those lines with your, with your pencil." He says, "I haven't done anything. All I've done is just this, you know." And so I followed the line with my pencil, and all of a sudden, you know, whenever I finished it and did the big circle in the middle, there was like a clown's face, with the big red nose, eyes up, hair down here, and you know, he, it was like a sort of a kind of a joint effort. I wouldn't have been able to ever have come up with it by myself. Not in a million years. But at the same time, he hadn't actually done it for me. He'd given me the guide, for which I should, sort of follow, and then, and it stuck with me. Then, obviously, then afterwards, I knew how to draw, a clown's face, without it actually being done for me. And I brought it to the Tuffy Club next day, and I won the chocolate. I mean, because it was, really I was showing my dad's picture. But as I developed myself, and I was sort of drawing dinosaurs when I was 10 or 11 or whatever, and then he would come over and he would say, "Son, you're rubbing too hard with that pencil or whatever. If you want to shine, and he did this thing, and it's actually always been part of my artwork, to this day, where he said, "Sometimes, son," he said, "it's not what you put on the page, it's what you take off." And I'm going, how does that work out, Pop? And he says, "Draw, draw, 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 draw." He says, "But then take your rubber," and there was like this brachiosaurus or whatever, big long neck, big body, big long tail, and I'd filled it all in, but I was struggling to get like a shine on it. And he took the rubber and he went down the neck and along the body and along the tail, and all of a sudden he'd removed pencil, and it just looked like a sleek, as if the dinosaur was actually, like shining, or glistening. And I mean, things like that, you're just unbelievable. They just stay with you, forever. So, I mean, if I'm sort of, what I don't even know the term for it, but if I'm looking through rose-tinted glasses, or I'm sort of going off, and you think that I'm exaggerating, I'm not, because obviously with the drumming that he was doing, I was never a good drummer. My brother was. He was a brilliant drummer. But I still think that the musical talent with my mum and dad, because my mum was a great singer, but dad was a great drummer. So I don't think there was going to be ever a case of there being a circumstance where I wasn't going to follow some sort of path in music. But definitely the artwork, as I say, passed down from my dad to me, passed down from me to JJ and Lindsay. And I want them to go on and do, there were years, because Lindsay's a busy girl, and she's got 3 kids, my grandchildren, but there were loads of sort of years that went past between me being in art college and working in art, and then deciding to do it again. When I did, I never lifted a pencil, never lifted a paintbrush. I mean, most of my artwork, the age that I am now, but most of my artwork that you see on my Facebook page and stuff, I did that all over the last 10 years. It's